Hey guys, Paul here. So today I wanted to talk about something that I feel a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh players kind of struggle with, and that is the idea of don't apologize for winning at Yu-Gi-Oh. It's something I've kind of wanted to talk about for a while. I've alluded to it in other videos as well. But yeah, basically, the long story short is if you are playing legal cards in a legal way, then there's nothing wrong with how you win at Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is a tricky one to necessarily come to terms with as a Yu-Gi-Oh! Player. I'll sort of give myself as an example. I play a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. You guys know this. I play ranked ladder every season pretty much. Unless I absolutely can't, I will be playing ranked ladder. I will be climbing to master rank. And the last couple of seasons, I have made it to the ratings duel, which is like this new thing where if you get to master one, grind your way all the way up there, then you get thrown into ratings duels where it's basically kind of this ELO rating kind of thing. And there's nothing really on the line except for pride. And so you get points for winning, you lose points for losing, and at the end of the season, you'll get to see where you stack up with people. So playing Master Duel in general is already, a bit of a high stress situation if you're taking it really seriously, right? It's best of ones, so, there is no side decking, there is no game two, game three. It's, just you and your opponent one time. It can feel very coin flippy, like, oh, you win the coin flip, you get to go first, you might just blow your opponent out, or, maybe they'll hand trap you to death and then kill you anyway, right? And in Master Duel in particular, you'll find a lot of really obscenely strong different strategies. In addition to whatever is the strongest top deck at the time, like right now, that's Snake Eye, Yubel. There are all kinds of weird, crazy gimmick decks. There are obnoxious stun decks that will show up, and just everything under the sun. And so when I first made it into ratings duels, I pretty quickly realized it's airtight, right? Like you really, the stakes are high. You really can't make mistakes and misplays. Most people are playing the best decks. They know all the matchups pretty well, like down to a T. And it's very cutthroat. And even just on my way to doing that, I will face these decks in Master Duel that will just take the longest turns and do the craziest, wildest combos. They're oftentimes like pile decks that combine just some of the different and most extreme inboards that you could ever imagine. I mean, like, staring down what I call kind of the four horsemen of the generic inboard, the Apolosas, the Borlos Savages, the Barones, all that stuff. In addition to just any other crazy thing, some decks will spit out a Thunder Dragon Colossus on top of it, or Tearlament's Roll Kalos, or whatever other generic negate comes with a given archetype or theme. I've seen like Arch Nemesis Protoss added to inboards randomly, Destiny Hero, Destroyer, Phoenix Enforcer. Also, random weird decks that like somehow will send a floodgate from deck to grave and then set it, and then like they'll flip it and it's, something obscene, anti-spell fragrance, or some other thing that negates anything that you do. And like these days, it's not enough to just say that even Maxx C will save you or Dimension Shifter will save you. Like, these decks are crazy. Nowadays in Master Duel, people have counterplay for Maxx C. It's gone beyond just, oh, you ash it or you called by or use Gamma maybe. People will main deck Droll and they'll use that on your Maxx C. People will let you use Maxx C and they'll use card destruction on you. Just the other night, I played against somebody who was using Trickstar Reincarnation as an anti-Maxx C measure. They would literally, like it was like a tier pile deck, right? And so you use Maxx C against them thinking, oh, great, I'm good. They'll stop playing, or maybe they'll, kind of go, and I'll take my turn, it'll be fine. I'll get an easy win off the Roach. Wrong, 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 wrong. They triple Tactics Thrust, they will set Trickstar Reincarnation, and then they will pop it with Barone, and then they will use something in the graveyard like Transaction Rollback, apply Trickstar Reincarnation's effect on you, and then make you just lose outright. Like, you don't even get another turn. So I have quickly realized in Master Duel, to sort of the moral of the story here, don't apologize. Don't apologize for how you win, because everybody is trying their damnedest to win at this game and people will do whatever it takes. So, I hear a lot of people oftentimes complain about Dimension Shifter in the game, and I totally understand it. Dimension Shifter is a really strong card. It can shut a lot of decks' first turns down completely, and we know that the first turn is very important in Yu-Gi-Oh! Oftentimes, if you're having to skip your first turn, you're probably just not getting to play. Sucks, but that's how it is. Same can go for Maxx C. A lot of people do not like this card. They feel that it is, a freebie, win button card. But as I just described, I don't even think that either of these cards are necessarily like easy buttons. I've had Maxx C times when like I've just lost outright. Like I still didn't draw good cards, or I still couldn't like beat a board of negates. And even if I did use Maxx C and win the game, the alternative was that they were going to set up a board like that against me and not let me play anything. And that's kind of, I guess, the crux of a lot of the argument is like, Yu-Gi-Oh's a kind of broken game. Like, I think that you kind of have to almost come to terms with that before you can really start like improving and maybe, dare I say, enjoying it. Because people are going to beat you in rude ways. They're going to mill you out. People are going to FTK you. People will burn you. People will like do whatever it takes to win. They will set up, 10 negates. They don't care how long their turn goes. And for the longest time, when I would lose to these strategies, I would really find myself thinking like, man, are you really happy winning that way? Like you just, did not let me play. You hand looped me, or you negated everything. And like I wasn't able to even play a card. How can you be satisfied winning like that? But then I realized, well, I am in like master rank ratings duels. Like there's nothing here to do but sweat and try hard. And like, that's kind of how it goes. So it was at that point that I realized, yeah, there's no shame in any of it. If I can run a floodgate and beat you, I will run the floodgate and beat you. People hate floodgates, but like if a floodgate wins, it wins. If a hand trap wins, it wins. If you hate dealing with these cards, then you better commit something in your main deck to stopping these cards. People have counterplay for Maxx C now. People learn the routes they can play to minimize their special summons if they want to stop their turn early. People will find out what they can do under Duel and Lockbird, even under Dimension Shifter. In fact, with a lot of the decks that I play now, I have to have a plan for these. Like if I'm playing Voiceless Voice right now in Master Duel, and if somebody plays Maxx C, or if I like read that they have Maxx C based on the order that they use hand traps in, I will reroute my plays to minimize special summons, make them only maybe draw like one card off it, and still set myself up for next turn. Even under Dimension Shifter, Voiceless Voice has like options and ways that it can play. I can still set things up. I can still use Blessing to recover cards. Like I have figured out what my deck can do against these cards. Now, it's not necessarily always enough to win, but the fact of the matter is you have to put your best foot forward and accept that like your opponent's playing these cards because they're legal and they're good. The good things win. This is something that I also kind of have taken away from fighting games. I play a lot of Smash Bros. And I spectate a lot of other fighting games, and there's like kind of this hump that new players have to oftentimes get over, which is that, you can complain all you want about this sense of honor, this sense of pride, playing in a way that is honest and upcoming and all and whatever. Doesn't matter. There will be somebody at a tournament who does not care about that because they are looking for the W. And when that happens, I think that you're sort of faced with a choice, right? Like you can complain and say that, well, this person's character is so unfair, or this deck is so unfair, this card is so sacky. But like, you can also play those cards. You can also do those things. Well, I don't want to. Well, then you won't win. Like, it's tough stuff. And I want to be clear here. I think that in that way, it's not necessarily for everybody, which, don't get me wrong here. I want everybody to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I want more people to be able to enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! I still firmly believe that what Konami also needs to be doing right now is creating lower power formats, official formats, but lower power formats, where maybe these obscenely strong cards and extremely long combos aren't part of the equation, right? Tame that so that people can get longer, more interactive duels that last several turns and feel more back and forth, maybe feel more honest. But until we get that, I think that if you are choosing to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and like choosing to kind of climb that ranked ladder or something, or you're choosing to go to a regional or YCS, I don't know that you really get to complain. This is like kind of, you know what you signed here. We know the kind of the agreement, the contract. This is just how it's going to be is like, we're going to sling the most rude, like obnoxious, ignorant cards at each other. And, whoever does it better, whoever gets luckier, whoever doesn't have the out, whatever, whoever does it will win. And yeah, so I say all that to say, if you find a way of winning that is unconventional, if you find something that is anti-meta, people don't like it, that Shifter, Maxx C, Floodgates, Fossil Dyna, Stun, whatever it is, don't apologize. Don't like feel bad for dropping Shifter on like the Yubel player who was going to take a 10-minute turn and set up like 50 negates against you. Don't feel bad about it. There's nothing to feel bad about. Don't let anybody tell you that like, oh, well, this doesn't take any skill to flip these trap cards and use Shifter. You won. At the end of the day, you won. Like they can cry about it and it sucks and I get it. Like it doesn't feel maybe as gratifying, but for me, I kind of left a lot of that like at the door a long time ago once I just started like playing the game. And it's tricky. I know that it's not like a pleasant thing to hear. Again, I still think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs to have formats where these cards aren't around, but while they are legal, you just kind of gotta like deal with it. Either play them and win, or if you hate them, then find some counterplay to them. And if you're using them, don't feel bad if someone says that you won with like something cheap. It's all just how it goes. It's a competition. It sucks. Now, one other alternative to this too is you can do like what I do, where when I play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel and I'm playing like, in Master ratings, rank and stuff, I turn off all those emotions and I don't really complain and cry about it because it's like, well, I'm trying to make them be able to not play too. That's how I get my wins. But it's also okay to just have like house rules with friends. That's what we do a lot of the time is, we have house rules where maybe you can't run hand traps, you can't run Nibiru, you can't run evenly crazy board breaker cards or whatever, or, we'll play our like lower tier decks, or maybe we'll even just purposefully hold back because it might make the duel a little bit more fun. That's totally fine to do with groups of friends. I encourage people to do that. I guess maybe the real takeaway from this video is Yu-Gi-Oh! Is unfair and you kind of have to accept it if you want to play it in the modern way, but you don't have to play it in the modern way. Just remember, like the people that are playing that, they're entitled to that. That's what Konami has allowed. These are the legal cards, these are the strategies. You don't have to necessarily conform to that when you're playing with your friends. Play however you want to play, make custom ban lists. There's that Heart of the Underdog format that Konami has and doesn't seem to quite want to own up to themselves, but they'll let your locals do like kind of a more fun tournament. So, yeah. I know this is like a kind of divisive one because people don't like to really hear it, like it's easier to kind of whine and complain about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I'd be a hypocrite if I said that I don't still like hate the cards that beat me, right? The broken cards and the crazy decks, I don't like them. I just know that when I'm playing, I will gladly use whatever tools I have at my disposal to win, and I very much expect my opponent to do the same to me, and I don't begrudge them for that. So, yeah. Okay, cool. This was a longer video than I expected it to be, so I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. As always, it's not a fun topic, but it is one that I think will spur a lot of good discussion. Also, real quick, I have opened channel memberships here on APS Amplifier. They're mostly really meant to be a way to support the Pot of Greed podcast that Alec and I do every week. But also, if you just want to become a channel member, it'd be a nice way to support, I don't know, you like these kinds of videos? Cool. You don't have to, there's no obligation to, but I just thought I'd put it out there. It's the join button down below on the video. Okay, cool. That's actually it. I will see you guys in the next one and down below in the comments. Pass turn.